Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing the future of ASAJJ Ventress after she appears in the Bad Batch Season 3. I think it all goes without saying that, well, she was clearly in the trailer for the Bad Batch Season 3, so we all know that she's going to be in the upcoming third season. The next question that many fans have though, however, that we're going to be discussing throughout this video is where could ASAJJ Ventress appear next, and after the Bad Batch Season 3, a little bit later down the timeline there as well. Some of the executive producers and Jennifer Corbett, the writer of the Bad Batch show herself as well, have recently taken to Tease that they want to do more with the character of ASAJJ Ventress. We've actually already discussed a bit of that in a separate video here on the channel already. Go check that one out if you haven't already. So in this video, I really wanted to take a moment and discuss where could she appear next in the future of the Star Wars timeline, like taking a look later down the timeline much rather than going into the past. They very well could go into the past and do more backstory with her character. I think it's a no-brainer to have that in the Tales of the Jedi animated show. With its second season, it's going to be releasing a little bit later this year in the fall. I don't think that they're going to have ASAJJ Ventress as one of their centric characters for the second season, but they want to continue and do more seasons with Tales of the Jedi, so why not pick up her character to be one of those main characters for a season similar to Ahsoka and Count Dooku, maybe explaining more of her backstory or more of what went on in the Dark Disciple novel, since the Bad Batch Season 3 is kind of skimping over that. It is still canon though, however. That's also been recently talked about and confirmed from the Bad Batch producers, Brad Woe and also Jennifer Corbett, the writer of the show, have both kind of come forward to say, yeah, the Dark Disciple novel is still a part of canon. They're going to respect that, of course. It's going to be not necessarily difficult, but interesting to see how they explain the Dark Disciple novel in more depth and really showcase on how Ventress makes that comeback as well, because, well, I think something I think that everybody kind of knows, but for those of you that might not know, Ventress presumably meets her demise in the Dark Disciple novel. It's not just that though, however. I think the way that she quote-unquote dies in the Dark Disciple novel is totally able to be covered up in a way, because she quote-unquote dies from a simple lightning bolt, force lightning from Count Dooku taking a hit for Quinlan Vos, as the two were taking on Count Dooku in the later seasons of the Clone Wars animated show. The Dark Disciple novel presumably overlaps with the Clone Wars Season 7. Anyway, I digress. That's not going to be the difficult part to explain things. The difficult part to explain things is that there's a whole insert in the book that explains of how her body is taken back to the planet of Dathomir, her home world, and she has a whole funeral and is actually buried, and you know, all of that stuff kind of goes on there as well. So explaining more of that and then how she comes back to be in the Bad Batch is going to be a very interesting thing to see unfold and see how that's all explained throughout the future of her character there as well. If they don't necessarily decide to do that in the Bad Batch Season 3 and would much rather just have those episodes focused and centric on the main characters, Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch, then so be it. I can respect it and understand it, but some type of explanation would have to be in the need, or much rather in the cards, for ASAJJ Ventress. So kind of coming back around full circle, one of the first areas that we could see her appear next down the timeline here, not necessarily in canon, but more of a flashback explaining more of her backstory before she goes on to be a Sith bounty hunter, Sith apprentice in the Clone Wars animated show, of how she got maybe some of her training, or maybe if there was an area maybe where she trained as a Jedi before turning, you know, rogue and going to a Sith apprentice slash bounty hunter, would also be an interesting concept and idea to see unfold in the Tales of the Jedi episodes, as I had mentioned. So this year, all being said, there's a couple of other areas that we could see more of Ventress, not just in the Tales of the Jedi animated show, In this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from the direct article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. We also have our merch shop up live and running. We have a couple of new designs on there, so go check it out. There's some promo codes to get some cash off. Anyway, that would be quite neat. Is something many fans would go bonkers over, is to have the return of Ventress outside of the Bad Batch and kind of continue on her story, their article reads. Just outside of the Bad Batch, and how the Bad Batch is going to set her character up to return in live action furthermore, and that there is no better time than now. Now, another area is Ahsoka, and was all about the Night Sister magic, and Ventress knows all about it. In fact, it could even play into how she's alive in the first place and makes her return in the Dark Disciple novel, or much rather after the Dark Disciple novel, is a very interesting idea to bring up. The former Sith apprentice could be the secret weapon that Hera, Ezra, and the rest of the Republic, or the New Republic, need to fight back against Thrawn. ASAJJ Ventress would certainly make for a great character post to attract fans and audiences for Dave Filoni's big Mandoverse movie, but outside of that, playing a very just insane role, I think, in the Mandoverse, having ASAJJ Ventress's character back in there as well, I think is something that a lot of fans would honestly like. But I think it's at a point of where it is like a now or never type of situation. Like, now is the perfect time for them to do that. Thrawn and the other Night Sisters that have just helped Thrawn resurrect his undead army, or much rather dead army now, I guess, and now that they're back on the planet of Dathomir, is also the homeworld of Ventress. There's no better time. Like, it has to be now or never kind of situation. It's not something that they really would be able to bring up down the timeline during those movies. The Dave Filoni Thrawn or New Republic kind of cultimation movie that was announced last year, 2023, at Star Wars Celebration, and then the newly announced and revealed just a couple of weeks ago, actually in January, the Jon Favreau Mandalorian and Grogu movie, as it's titled. During those movies and kind of after those movies, I feel like would be too far-fetched and kind of just too late, to be honest with you. So during Ahsoka Season 2 would have to be a prime time to bring her character back. As for the Republic Commandos Delta Squad, there's no better place besides a proper video game sequel or, you know, remaster to offer up some type of resolution to those characters than the Bad Batch. Going off of a bit of a limb though. However, and hopefully, the final season of the Bad Batch can give fans a little something, because who knows if the opportunity will ever come knocking again. I think having Delta Squad versus the Clone Force 99 is something that a lot of fans would like to see come full circle, so let's do it. I think it would be pretty awesome to see that unfold. When the show does come to its complete close, the real question is, what animated show will fill that void? And I think it is going to be the Tales of the Jedi animated show, although many fans hope for some type of High Republic era show. Only time will tell. Let me know what you guys are all thinking in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.